My name is Mecca Woods, and I am a professional astrologer and transformation coach. You can find me at mylifecreated.com, and this is Sex Positive Living on Venus, Mars, and the Moon. So, when it comes to sex positivity, I think the best way to kick off this discussion would be to first to define what does it mean to be sex positive. And in the broadest sense, it means that we approach sex and engage in it in a way that is free of judgment. We express it with a confident and open attitude while making room for others to do the same, provided that the sex is healthy and mutually consenting. So with me being an astrologer, I'm pretty sure that you all can imagine that one of the biggest topics that people always come to me when they're seeking advice is, of course, around sex and relationships, right? They want to know, like, how can I bring sexy back, right? They want to know what's the best time for me to get out there to meet someone? How can I attract someone that I like? Is there someone out there that's compatible for me? And if they're in a relationship, maybe they want to ask, well, how do I approach my partner about sex, right? If there's something new that I want to try and maybe I've been kind of hesitant about it, or maybe how do we keep the passion and fun alive in our romance? And if they're single, maybe they're thinking, well, I still want to have some fun. I'm non-committal, and that's fine. But how do I have that fun and be me with minimum casualty? And so what I've noticed is that a lot of us are kind of walking around living these kind of half-fulfilled sex lives or unfulfilled sex lives. And because we've been too busy trying to fit into these social codes and mores that don't allow for human complexity. And this is where astrology comes in. What I've noticed is that there's a great correlation between sex positivity and astrology in the sense that they both recognize the human being as a whole, having diverse needs and desires that all need to be met and kind of vying for attention at different times. And so what astrology does in helping to appreciate this diversity within us is take us beyond sun signs, right? So when people say, hey, baby, what's your sign? Oh, I'm a Leo, I'm a Scorpio. We're going beyond that to discover our moon sign, our Venus sign, our Mars sign, right? And so what Venus does, she comes in and she acts as our personal law of attraction, right? She has legs and she's not afraid to use them. She seduces, she helps us to get along and find a common ground with one another. She helps us to play nice. And then Mars comes in, he's like a rogue cop, right, with his own agenda, coming in, guns blazing. And he's here to take over, he's forceful, he's action-oriented. And he also points to what physically feels good in the sex act. Then there's the moon, and the moon comes in, and she helps us to figure out what it is that we need to feel emotionally satisfied. She's there to help us figure out what it is that we need to be nurtured and how we're able, the capacity that we're able to nurture others. So for example, say if someone has Venus in Gemini, which is a changeable sign, very highly stimulating, group sex or polyamory might be something that they might be interested in and may need a partner who's interested in the same. A man, for example, who might have a moon in Scorpio or Cancer, which is a water sign, emotional bonding and intimacy and trust is going to be paramount to the sex act. Someone like a woman who might have a masculine Venus, Mars, or Moon, like in a fire sign like Sagittarius or Aries, she's going to be very aggressive. Coy, she is not going to play whatsoever. And she's going to need someone who's able to be confident with that. And then let's say there's someone who has a Venus or Moon in an earth sign like Taurus or Virgo. They're not going to be so experimental. Convention is going to be their source of go-to because earth is more fixated on tradition and status. So what does this all mean? Why is sexual fulfillment so important? And the answer is simply this, outside of the health benefits, is that when you're turned on, the world turns on with you, right? Think about any time that you've ever seen a person that is in the throes of passion, right? The kind of orgasmic glow that they get, right? It makes them more attractive. People actually look and say, well, I gotta get me some of that, right? And so what happens is that, Venus, Mars, Moon, they become our archetypes for for sexual attraction and desire. And when we learn how to fully engage those three, like kind of like they come together as Voltron, we learn how to live more authentic lives, and we become more present to our lives. And at the end of the day, isn't that what living is really all about? Thank you.